Yo, what's going on? It's Michael or Indo, whatever you want to call me, over at the Rhoze Podcast. New episode. We try to do this every Sunday. A podcast about stories, perspectives, and thoughts from creators all around the world. Starts here in Toronto, Canada. That's where we're based over. But happy to be here with a great colleague, great partner of mine, MARV. We had him in the last episode, but I think that was like episode 2, something like that, right?
Or yeah, 3? It was an early one. I think maybe 2 or 3, something like that.
Yeah, with Jules and stuff. Yeah. But happy to have him again and get a little bit more of a solo, intimate talk just because we've had that connection. So, Marv, anything you want to say personally?
Oh, man, it's been a crazy week for me. Just been, trying to hold it down, grind, working, and, staying up to date with like the current Roseland news and all the stuff we got planned for the future. And yeah.
I mean, the least I'll say is like, what's been up with you? Because I've been outside the city, and the least I'll say is like spending some time outside of the city is nice because you get to connect with nature, be by yourself, and get away from all the noise sometimes. And I feel like it really helped with just my creative process, looking from outside in, inside out. And now I'm back in the city just for a little bit before I head back out. But how's it been over with you in the city? Anything new?
Yeah, I mean, the city's been great, honestly. I mean, I think I've said this in the last pod that Toronto in the summertime is probably the best city. There's so many things going on, so many events, so many places to go, so many things to do. I've been fortunate enough to secure a gig downtown and set up live events, do DJ setups and all this other sound tech responsibilities. So that's been a lot of fun, just being, getting able to pop in and out of different like concerts that are going on, see like the different communities that come.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of actually like Desi events, and those are insane. And they really know how to party. They dress down, they look great, and it's a great vibe, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a bar mitzvah later too, right?
yeah, there's that. And it's going to be a first for me. I've never done one of those, but I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I'm sure they have a good time.
I'd love to go, yeah. The least I'll say is, like, how have you been finding the whole events vibe in Toronto? I know we talked about it in another podcast with Yareem, shout out Yareem, but like, how has it been for you just handling those events, especially doing the audio?
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, there's just so many events. It's almost like there was like this awakening this summer, and it's almost like we're defrosting from all the COVID stuff that happened. Even though that was like years ago, I still feel like
feels kind of fresh.
Still feels like it's unwinding from that, So now everyone's outside.
Yeah,
it seems like there's just so many things going on. And I think this is a great time and opportunity for people in this type of space, whether you're like a DJ or a sound tech or anything like that, stagehand, right? Because there are so many events happening, and there's no better place to be in than somewhere else like Toronto, really, right? I would love to actually be outside of the city once in a while, but with nothing around, like, you're not really catching those same opportunities as you would here.
It's really true. All the culture really starts over in the city, right?
Exactly.
You've been doing a lot of events. We have an event coming up. Maybe we could talk a little bit about that, and just for the audience to know just what Roseland's been up to in terms of the future plans of where we're going.
For sure. I mean, I'd like to talk a little bit about like the event we just had actually with Emote. I think it was a great turnout. I enjoyed it. It was definitely stepping out of my comfort zone in terms of just relatability with everyone there, because they're more into like the tech universe, whereas we're more creative, but we're trying to like mix the two together.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of good connections there, and I think it's important for everybody who's in a certain industry to branch out and meet people from other industries, because then you can learn a lot and maybe even use, what they do in their field in conjunction with what we do, right? So like tech and art, like we're trying to pioneer something that can definitely help artists and creatives maybe see a faster ROI with the help of like something with AI or cryptocurrency or something like that. But aside from that event, we do have an event that I'm pretty much spearheading in October 23rd, right? So far, I have a name pending. It's called the House of Horror 2026.
It may change.
It might change. It might
Pending.
change. Yeah, it's pending. We'll see, right? It's just a quick little placeholder. I got 3 DJ acts for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to have a nice little mix of house, hip hop, and also some Spanish music. It is closer to Halloween, so you know, costumes are it's a little encouraged. You know, it would be nice to see everyone in costumes. You know, and I mean, I'm not a big costume guy. Are you?
I like to wear my you know what? I like to dress up on the occasion.
Okay.
So that's really it.
True.
And for an occasion like this, I don't mind. And I feel like as creatives, we should be bringing out our personality. So I think it's like an awesome like little add-on, especially with the Halloween season.
Yeah, and I feel like I've definitely been opening up to the idea a little more as I got older. You know, when I was a kid, I just hated dressing up. But anyway, yeah, so we got 3 DJ acts. DJ Wes from Warhol. We got DJ Andrea Meow or something like that. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. And of course, we have the 3rd act, which is a back-to-back. And it's 2 DJs, DJ SK and DJ T Will. So look out for that. You know, we got all the graphic designing and promo and stuff on the way. And we hope we can see you there, you know, have a good time for the night. It is a late night slot on a Friday night. So, you know, nice way to kick off the weekend.
For the audience to know too, Rhoze has been doing so many different types of events. A lot of it started off with like networking and mixing. And then as Marv mentioned, we just had one recently with tech, really bridging into that whole field. I'm curious to ask Marv, because you've been curating previous events in the past, right? You've helped us in like other things that we've done, Flameland, the networking stuff. I'm curious to know if there's a different approach you're looking to take this event, just from the experience you've learned with the other events.
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess different approach in terms of just like now I feel like I'm more resourceful. I have the connects to make the decisions faster, like securing a venue, even securing DJs, just being in the field for so long, just getting to know a bunch of DJs.
It's easier now, eh?
It's way easier. Like I didn't have to go searching. Like all I had to do was message a couple people on Instagram and then talk to someone. You know what I mean? Like it was fast. So now really like I feel like because of the amount of time I've given myself to be able to prepare, that it's less stressful. Whereas before, I feel maybe I was cutting close on time and I wasn't so informed on exactly what I needed, right? And then like it's all trial and error, right? When you put on an event, like sometimes you just forget you'll need something, you know, maybe you'll forget like you need a door or just something as an example, right?
Things come up.
Like, things come up, right?
Things come up.
Yeah, so I feel like now just because like you said, like I've helped curate and promote other events, I feel just a little bit more confident and like it's exciting, you know what I mean? Because I guess the exciting part is like, well, you never know how many people are going to show up, right? And I think like you have to do your due diligence in order to make sure people come out, right? Making Instagram reels and promoting it and having the DJs or artists promote it too and making sure everyone's kind of coordinated and
gotta come together.
Yeah, you know, and everything's like in a timely manner. No one's really like taking forever to do anything. Like it's all just has to be like a well-oiled machine. And I think like once people see how like professional and how put together it looks, they're more inclined to come out. Right. They don't want to just come out to anything. They don't want to come into just anything, especially if they're spending their hard-earned money. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very hopeful. I think it's going to be a great turnout. And you know, with the help of like Rhoze, I think this is just going to be another great event. You know what I mean? I
want to ask, maybe this is some stuff we got to plan out a little bit more, but any performances, anything you're looking to, you know, incorporate in terms of like real people aside from the DJs?
Yeah, well, to be honest, at this point, no, because I feel like from past events, we've actually been more artist focused, right? People who perform, you know, and although it's amazing and we love giving that platform to artists, I actually think there's no better time to be a DJ, right? Like the load in process is just so easy, right? You set up a couple decks, you got a mixer, and then the DJ can either bring a USB, a laptop, and they're flying, right?
Yeah.
Whereas an artist just has so many things. They're very particular about their sound, and you maybe need the auto tune, they maybe need the wireless. Like, there's just too many variables. And just right now with like how everything's going, like I feel like we haven't really done anything where it's just DJs, right? Like in our history books, we're like, so I think right now, because there are so many DJs in the city, why not give them a platform too? So being able to just handpick these people, I think is a very like it's a blessing in itself, right? It's kind of just like with artists, but then like it's just more of a broad like audience pull, in my opinion, right? Because when you go for an artist, you're really taking a risk. You might not like their music, you know, you might go just because you know them and they're your friend, you know what I mean? Like the turnout is kind of uncertain, right? And I think that was kind of like a thing with Flameland too, right? Where I saw that firsthand, right? Where it's like, okay, it's kind of hard. And also like the late night slot that we have, I feel like it's also hard because people, they feel a little weird coming out at like 2 a.m. to perform or like 1:30 a.m. to perform, right? But with DJs, it's just the music is just going from the start of the event to the end of the event, right? People can come in and out. If they like the vibe, they stay. If they don't, they maybe go get a drink and stick around, whatever the case may be. But there's no waiting for an artist to come in and all of that stuff. So I just think it's like a big headache relief in that sense, where I'm just trying to take it easy. Because mind you, this is an annual event. So this is the first of a series. So if I could pull it off on the first event and make it simple and easy, then that's all I can ask for. You know what I mean? Eventually, maybe we'd like to include other things like artists and stuff like that. But for this first one, I'm trying to keep it simple.
Did we even mention where the event is going to be at?
No.
Just for everyone to know?
No, the event is going to be at the Drake Underground. So
the Drake Underground.
Yeah, October 23rd at 11 p.m.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes. So hopefully anyone watching the podcast, you know, a couple months ahead of time, tune on in, come on out, and come say hi.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, back to that, though, what else has been new, man? I mean, at least for me, been kind of creating on my own stuff, working on my brand. Kind of curious to know if there's been any other thoughts on your mind just with the creating process, just being creative. Anything else new aside from the event stuff?
Yeah, I'm still doing like audio engineering for the people who I've met through Roseland. It's coming in like kind of like droves, you know what I mean? It comes and goes, you know. But yeah, in terms of just like being creative, I still have resets to come out. You know, things have obviously gotten away, and we haven't been able to like coordinate too well to try to get the music video. But
it's coming,
it'll
though.
come.
It's coming.
You know what I mean? And then aside from that, just on my own like artistry, I think maybe I just took a little bit of a step back to focus more on like being like more of an like audio tech, like a live sound technician.
AV,
actually.
Really, right?
Sound, yeah, live sound. You know what I mean? Like, I've been used to doing a lot of studio work, but now I'm kind of just branching out and trying to learn more of the live sound, setting up for bands. You know, doing monitor mixes here, all these different things that just kind of expand my repertoire as an audio engineer.
Exactly. Yeah. I think people generally have a pretty good understanding of mixing, mashing in the studio. But what about AV? What can you tell the audience about live sound? Yeah,
it's two completely different beasts, right? Like AV is a lot more, I would say, high pressure. You have to be prepared for every little thing to go wrong, right? Be 2 steps ahead. Cable could be messed up. A connection could come loose. Anything could happen, really. You know, you blow a monitor, mic doesn't work anymore. You just have to be ready to go, right? If something's not working, you know exactly how to fix it and you're ready to go.
The troubleshooting must be crazy.
It has to be instantaneous, instantly. You got to just go. Because realistically, like when that type of stuff happens, everyone's looking at
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah.
The whole crowd's looking at you.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
people on stage are looking at you,
Mhm.
and you can't just lag. You can't just stand there like, whoa, what do I do? What do I do? No, because then people are going to be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Right?
It's different because there's more time pressure rather than maybe you're in the studio with a artist.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't get me wrong. Things can go wrong in the studio as well, but I feel like it's a little bit more laid back. You can deal with it. You're not dealing with a whole crowd or a room of people. You're maybe dealing with a 1-2 people at most. And like pressure makes diamonds type of things, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're under that type of pressure, like if you don't get it the first time, you're gonna get it the next time because you don't want to look bad, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that part about the job. It's also just very like eye-opening to see how many people struggle with this type of stuff, right? Like it may seem so simple, the concepts may seem so simple for people like me who like enjoy tech, enjoy audio and all this stuff. But then you'll see people come in and they have no idea what to do, right? Like you have to I have to show them the basic, like, oh, this is how you use the mic, and this is the knob, and this is what you turn up if you got to use it, right? Like you got to assume,
press this button.
I got to assume everyone starts from zero, okay? Because like, yeah, for some reason it's just like a whole new world that people really don't get. So I like that. It's just a privilege to just be able to know that type of information, be able to practice that type of work.
Any recent horror stories or any like at least memorable experiences that you had maybe setting up the sound for bands or people?
I mean, in live sound for events, not yet, thankfully, but I do have a story from last year, actually.
Okay.
So I was working a documentary for Advanced Music Canada.
Right.
And it's a documentary about interviewing people from Canada, especially like people of Black descent, who are able to be trailblazers in the music industry. So I had the privilege of being part of interviewing Director X.
Okay.
And while the freaking interview is happening, my interface that I'm using is like this portable Zoom interface, right? It takes like 6 batteries in it. And I thought I had enough power, and it ended up going out in the middle of the interview. So everyone had to stop. I had to let the producer know and be like, yo, like I gotta make a quick switch, you know? Can you maybe like ask him to stop? And then everyone's eyeing me down, and I'm there just like doing like quick time, you know, like freaking sweating, hands are fucking.
The pressure is crazy.
Yeah, the hands are shaking, and I'm like dropping stuff, you know what I mean? So it wasn't necessarily like a horror thing. Everyone was cool about it because I think that's just like part of the gig. You know
it almost feels like a welcome to the NBA moment.
Sort of, you know, things are just gonna happen. But I was definitely feeling the pressure, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was definitely feeling it. But yeah. But
how was it after?
It was good, you know. I think everyone, you know, thank God everyone was cool. We continued to interview.
Yeah.
There was not really anything. In fact, I got maybe a little bit of just like a thumbs up for being just fast, right? Just cordial, fast.
Yeah, swift.
And yeah, man, I think that's the important part too, is just not to get hung up on those moments, right? Like learn from them, and then it's gonna happen again. And I think the important part is that like everyone makes mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen professionals make mistakes all the time. It's just a thing that happens when you're doing live sound. No matter how many times you do it, you just might forget a little something, right? Like, or you might not take something into consideration, like a battery or a cable or just something. Something always comes up.
I mean, it goes to show that you just got to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, got to be
adaptable.
Got to be prepared.
I mean, what else been new? Any big plans for the rest of summer for you? Just holding it down?
Oh, man. I can't believe summer is almost over already.
Yeah, it's been a good summer. I'd say quick.
It's been a great summer.
Quick too.
Yeah, I mean, it's going by fast. I guess they say time goes by fast when you're having fun, you know? But, man, I'm just continuing to grind, do the events, and try to enjoy as much sun as possible. Try to go out with, you know, family, friends, and, you know, just enjoy this last couple months that we got of sunshine, really.
Yeah,
you know?
And since we talked about a little bit of events and just like all the cool things coming in Toronto, do you know any big things coming up, like upcoming for the city that you might be aware of? Events,
I mean,
production?
the cool thing about like the C&E this year, right? I think the cool thing they're doing is like they're doing some crossover. I think it's like North by Northeast X C&E. So they have literally a concert like every day, right? They have people like Lupe,
Lupe Fiasco.
JoJo, bunch of other people that I'm not really aware of.
I
JoJo,
didn't
you
even
remember
know.
JoJo?
Yeah, JoJo's throwback.
So yeah, you know, I think that's really cool. And it just goes to show you how live the city is this year, right? I think a lot of maybe has to do with just like, I guess the World Cup set it off, right? Like the whole FIFA Fan Fest stuff, being a host city, really give a lot of energy to Toronto. And yeah, summer might be coming to a near end, but it doesn't look like anything's slowing down right now.
Yeah, even next month, I'm just realizing it's like TIFF. So that's probably going to be a huge thing for like all of us, the whole like AV film stuff all colliding over there.
Never been to TIFF. Have you been to TIFF?
Yeah, I have like a couple of times, but MARV has actually been a big, I'd like to say, advocate of supporting live events and going to concerts. And I feel like it's such an interesting world that not only have you been doing the AV and just the live for it, but you've been a part of actually going to those experiences.
Yeah.
How have you been finding just like the experience of actually being a guest or just going to these concerts and interacting with these performers?
Oh man, I mean, I love going to events. I love going to concerts. I've been to several.
Weren't you just at Low Shimmy?
Yeah, I went to the Low Shimmy concert, and it was a great turnout. It was great, you know.
Well, what was the vibe like? I didn't even think I talked to you about how it was.
I mean,
packed.
It was a good turnout. I wouldn't say it was necessarily like packed. But there was a good amount of people. It was my first time ever at this venue with the concert hall, or Grey Hall or something like that, downtown. Nice little venue. I guess the demographic for me was just like a little surprising because I was expecting maybe like hoodmans to pull up and all this stuff. But really it was like a very tame crowd, and there was just like a huge female following.
All ages, or was it like was it all ages, or was it like
that's a good question. I think it might have been all ages, but
it's so weird how like rappers be doing stuff like that. But like it makes sense, right? They want to open up the doors for everyone. But
they want to open up. Like I think a lot of the thing about hip hop in particular too is that like essentially kids do run the sound of hip hop. Like they determine what's hot and what's not. Right?
It's for the kids.
Yeah, it is. Like we're pushing 30 and stuff. Like our opinion is valid, but it doesn't like solidify who's hot or who's not. It's really the kids who put them on, right? And I think that's something I realized from going to a lot of concerts is that like as I get older, I see a lot of youngins come out to these things like they know every single word. You know, they're yelling at the top of their lungs like this is like their Bible. Like they've been listening to this every single night before bed type thing, you know? Like, and that's exactly how I felt at Lou Shimmy. Whereas like I knew some of the songs and I'm a big fan and everything. Yeah. But then I see the girls in there and they're rapping to everything. And I'm like, damn, like I don't even know this song like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, just a little bit of a humble moment, I guess.
Diverse audience then. You weren't expecting it.
I guess I just wasn't like usually when I go to like shows, rap shows especially, it's more of like a male crowd. But I honestly think this one had like a more female dominant crowd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any other performers that you remember that had maybe like a unique crowd or experience at least going?
I mean, it might sound a little controversial, but when I went to like the Disclosure concert, it was like years ago. I loved their music. But I guess maybe I was naive and I didn't really take in that the LGBTQ community really loved their music. So when I went to their concert,
it was like a big audience.
It was a huge LGBTQ audience, you know? And I didn't expect that just because like I never thought about it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. But other than that, no, man, nothing surprises me anymore because like I go to everything. Like I was just at my friend's their metal concert, you know, and that's such a different vibe because you guys freaking throwing each other around and they're doing like fist throwing and like girls even get in there and they're just pushing each other and it's just all screaming and you know they're doing mosh pits and you know like it's just different. Like I don't really expect nothing like less, or I'm not surprised.
I think
anymore,
it's just
really.
so awesome the fact that you got to like experience all these different sounds, and for the audience to know too. I find that MARV has a really diverse just taste and I would say ear to sound. You've been listening to music forever. I think a lot of it came from like your brother, right? Type thing.
I mean,
right?
My family definitely has a lot to do with it. Growing up, music has always been a big part of just the daily lifestyle. Listening to my dad blast Spanish music, whether it's salsa or you know, love songs and stuff like that. My brother would be playing like very like new metal type of stuff, like Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and all these different rock rap groups. And like I think there was just no boundaries when it came to music. I could be listening to whatever, and as long as it sounds good, like we like it. You know, we're not really a one genre type of household. We got it all.
It's interesting just to see it come full circle because, again, probably just started off being a fan, avid listener.
Of course.
Ended up doing it yourself. Being in the studio and now doing the whole AV sound. How do you find looking back at that kind of like that full circle moment? Like, did you ever expect yourself to really be in that field?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I think a lot of the time growing up, I did have a dream of being somewhat involved in music. I wasn't particularly sure. I knew I wanted to be some sort of like performer. I guess I was always singing and stuff. You know, I was always in like the choir and doing all these like performances for school and stuff. So I would say like I actually had like actual like going to sleep and having a dream about being in a stadium and performing in front of people. As I grow older, maybe that isn't what I thought was going to be my end game, right? But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was just kind of like a precursor to what I'm doing now, where I'm actually setting up for people who are performing in a bunch of like huge crowds and all like that, right? I'm still part of the process. I'm just not the only thing. Like I'm not the main like attraction.
Yeah, you're not.
But that's completely fine with me. It is.
Yeah.
I think I actually enjoy the technical side of the making of music. You know what I mean? Or the making of an event, stuff like that. It appeals to me. Like it's fascinating. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I've always, in some sort of capacity, was always going to be involved in music. You know, from the jump. Yeah.
I also feel like it's really humbling and real to also be honest about yourself and realizing that music isn't just like a one-man show as they all see.
Yeah,
like they put it all together. And again, I find that sometimes people may get lost in the sauce with being a musician and just kind of thinking the spotlight's all on them and like to just be honest about it and be like, hey, it's not about me this time, and taking a step back or just knowing when to take a step back is like really cool. And how do you deal with all that? Just kind of realizing that, hey, doesn't need to revolve around you and stuff.
I think a lot of it has to do with just being able to put like your pride aside, right? Like making sure you control your ego. I've never really been too ego driven. You know, I mean, who doesn't really enjoy the spotlight? Who doesn't enjoy attention? But at the end of the day, it's like that comes with a lot of setbacks itself, right? Like being the center of attention, being the guy that everyone goes to and everyone bothers, and you get little to no privacy and all these different types of stuff that comes along with it, right? Being consistent, always under pressure to make something new, right? I think that's a hard one. If you're not really living experiences, it's kind of hard for you to just come out with like art. Right?
Yeah, facts.
So I think that also plays a part too, is that like me taking a step back isn't necessarily like saying like, oh, I'm done with this forever. It's more just so I'm trying to create different experiences so I can come back and maybe just unwind and write about the stuff that I'm going through, right? Because you're not living if you're in a studio locked in for like 8 hours a day just making music. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm sure I can make some stuff.
It's like you're forcing it too much.
Exactly. And it's not going to be as relatable, I feel like. Whereas like if I speak on something that other people can be like, oh, like I mess with that. Like I can see where he's coming from. I feel that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and like you said, you made a very important statement with like you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
You just can't. And I like well, not to say you just can't, like you are able to do it yourself, but it's going to take a lot of time and effort, right? It's going to take a lot longer than it would with people who like are dedicated to one aspect, right? So if you're a producer making beats, your only job should be making beats.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're an artist creating songs, that's all you should be doing too, right? Make songs and do that. Like wearing a lot of hats is great. It's great knowledge, right? And people are going to respect the grind. But in terms of just like getting to that final product and staying consistent and putting it out, man, you got to be very special to be doing that all on your own. That's all I got to say. You know, it takes I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I think I think that's why it didn't work out for me in that sense. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a hot take because I got to get your thoughts on it. Everyone's seeing this emergence in it, and we were just talking about it. I do agree with you. You can't do it all by yourself. You need a team.
Yeah.
But since we're on the topic and with Roseland and just the world getting into this new phase in society with AI, just kind of want to get your thoughts on how you're finding the impact with AI, music, and then this idea of how people say AI can do it all for you.
Yeah.
But then again, as someone that's been in the game for a little while, not only as a listener, but now someone that's producing and helping with the production, what are your thoughts on it all? Just AI affecting your industry and just what you do.
I love that you brought this up, man, because I want to make a PSA to everybody using AI for their stupid graphic design. You guys are all using the same damn eyesore looking graphic design for these promo flyers.
So sloppy.
It's just all the same. And you guys no longer have
it's like a personality.
There's zero personality anymore.
Tough.
Like it's an eyesore, and I see it on everything now. You know, restaurants.
You can kind of tell.
You can easily tell. Right? It's always the same format, so it's very easy to tell.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing really that has been actually like making me a little upset about the emergence of AI. Other than that, it's a tool. You know what I mean? And I think right now we're obviously seeing how far AI can go in actually just doing the whole process. And so there's going to be a lot of controversy and a lot of different laws that have to come in place, right? Like in terms of just like, yo, do you actually own this IP? Or should we even credit you if you're using AI? Like how much extensively are you using AI, right? Because like I think it'd be a nice little tool for me. Even I get a little curious, you know. I've never used it, but if I were to use it, I'd maybe use it to give me ideas, right? Maybe just give it a couple topics and then be like, oh, give me a little concept for like a song that I'm trying to work around, or give me maybe like a bass to work off. So maybe give me like drums and I can just do the rest, or give me a melody and then I can riff off of it, right? Stuff like that where it's a tool, right? It essentially becomes something that like
with a prompt.
Assists me and like gives me little ideas here and there. But then obviously you look at other people who are using it more. And we can give the example of like that Phoenix Flexing song, right? That like 80s style song that he came out with that went viral.
Yeah.
And I think there's two things about that song. One is that like it's obviously AI or some use of AI, but then the second part is like they're denying it, and I think that's doing a disservice to the industry as well. It's just like, why are we denying it? If we want this to become more acceptable, we kind of have to be transparent about it.
You have to be honest.
Yeah, we have to be honest. You know what I mean? Like people are still going to like the song. I think there's been another song actually that last year was like, it entered the top 100 and it was AI and it was like an EDM song. Oh. Right? And a lot of people, if you listen to it, you're probably not going to be able to tell that it's an AI song. So it's a blurred line, and I think when people don't know about it, they're perfectly okay with it. So like it's gonna enter our lives anyway, right? It's already here. It's gonna keep progressing, keep evolving. It's gonna keep getting better,
more sophisticated.
It's gonna be smoother, it's going to be less and less easier to tell that it's AI.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important for everyone to not necessarily like be afraid of it, but more be in control of it. You know, use it as a tool, right? Don't just play it off because whether or not you like it or you use it, someone big like a Timbaland is gonna use it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we all respect him as a producer. Come on, this man did Aaliyah. This man did Missy. You know what I mean? Like countless
iconic.
Justin Timberlake, right? And we love a lot of the music that he's coming out with throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if he feels like we got to look at it from a standpoint where like this man has accomplished so much already. Mm-hmm. What's next for him? Mm-hmm. It would be AI.
It would be.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't be to stand still and just keep making it really the same
just
way.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It would be for him to explore a new way,
foreign territory.
Yeah, foreign territory to make something new. And like, are we gonna hate on it or like I don't know, right? So
Timbaland is definitely one of those artists, and I think we've had conversations about it where he's really trying to create these like AI artist personas, and I think that's been the thing that's really been a topic of conversation in the whole industry. Your thoughts on it personally?
And I think that's exactly what I'm talking about, like the extent of it, right? So if you're making a whole new artist, I do feel a way about that because I think it takes away from people who actually are trying to climb up this ladder of success to being a successful musician.
Mm-hmm.
People who have been working their whole lives, right?
Yeah.
Like you're taking away from them, and that's not necessarily like that great. It sounds like corporate greed, right? You're taking away the artist. You're pretty much ripping away a soul, right? Like music has its like theory and things that make it music, right?
You need the human connection,
but you need that human element.
Yeah.
You need that element of being able to make a mistake,
yeah.
right? If AI gets too good and it's like perfect,
yeah,
you're gonna lose that like
those aha moments.
Those aha, exactly. There's been moments in songs that we love where the artist can tell you where it's like, oh yeah, we made a little mistake.
We
here.
didn't intend for that.
You can hear it, you know, that we did that, but we kept it in because it just sounded good. It sounded genuine, and you know, like we're not gonna have many of that anymore. It's just gonna be like these weird digital artifacts, and it's gonna be like, oh, we can tell this is AI, and like
it's
scary. No soul in it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no soul in it.
And it makes me think all the way back in the past, and for the audience to know, Marv and I connected over in high school. We talked about it in like a previous episode, but I do remember one of the first times I connected with Marv. We were talking on, was it MSN? I think it was MSN. MSN was a thing back in the day.
MSN,
because that was the thing for our generation. Huge before iMessage, before even BBM, there was like MSN, which is talking through email. You might sound like unks or whippersnappers. But I do remember one of the first questions Marv asked me, just getting to know me as a musician, was one of my favorite rappers. And I do remember one of Marv's favorite rappers during that time was Eazy-E. I'm pretty sure. And we had a conversation about it. And it makes me think, since we're on the topic of AI, AI has done those where they can like recreate or almost take their voice in essence and bring it back to life in a way. I've seen people kind of do it a little bit with Tupac. I'm a big Tupac guy.
Well, Drake did it with Tupac.
Yeah, right? Curious to know your thoughts on it. Like, how would you feel if, let's say, the estate took Eazy-E's likeliness and his sounds and just recreated it and made more of it? Would you listen to it? Would you be a fan of it? We're talking about this whole idea of soul. How would you just take that news?
Well, I don't think I'd personally be listening to it or like really just like excited to hear that. I think a lot of things with like legacy sometimes just needs to be that. You know what I mean?
Just leave
like,
it.
I don't care to hear like if there was like a Beatles like research.
They did have a new Beatles song too.
And I'm sure,
actually,
I'm sure. You know,
I did listen.
Like,
That was
the
bad.
biggest group, like right? So like, but I mean, with the amount of songs they came out already, with the amount of great albums and
the catalog.
Yeah, the catalog's just there. Like, I feel like that's also a disservice to their legacy, right? Because like if you introduce someone who's let's say someone who's never heard of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And you give them that AI song and that's their first listen. Yo, I'd feel bad for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'd feel bad for them. And then I'd be like, man, like, if you enjoy that, go listen to Sgt. Pepper's Heart Spell. Go listen to like an album that they like really put their whole.
So are you saying that AI is a tier lower than the posthumous stuff? Because the posthumous stuff is kind of like
I don't know about a tier lower, but at the end of the day, I think it's just like, why are we playing on dead people? Like, why are we playing around with dead people? Like, we should always be looking for something new, and like. There's so many cover bands out there, you know what I mean? That they're already doing that work for us, where they give us that nostalgia factor when they perform, you know? And it's great because they do put their spin on it. They put that human element. But yeah, no, I think sampling is as much as far as we go with tempering with a legacy.
Yeah.
But AI is just like, yo, I think we're going backwards if we're trying to do that. Like, why not come up with something new rather than revive something that's already been done. You know what I mean? So in terms of Eazy-E, like I love him more of the fact because of like he was a trailblazer, a pioneer. Rapper, yeah, I listen to his music, but then again, like I'm not really like looking to hear a new Eazy-E record, and especially if it's AI. Right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not. It's not something.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, it probably will be happening, but I don't want it.
Yeah, God forbid, a new NWA or like
a new NWA one with the Eazy AI Eazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I mean, that'd be. I don't know. I think it'd be a little cool, but it would really depend on the.
It almost just feels like clickbait. Like they're just doing it just to get you to click and just get that stream in or something. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's at least AI in terms of just like music, in-house, the production side. Any thoughts or predictions about perhaps AI in the live world?
I mean, it's weird because I feel like AI has been already sort of part of the music industry in some capacity. Not necessarily prompting, but let's say something like auto-tune, right? Auto-tune, like you could put a person who doesn't know how to sing at all, put it through auto-tune, and it's already manipulating their voice and like pitch correcting it and all that stuff. In a sense, isn't that kind of like AI?
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even stuff like volume automation, all these different automations, especially in live sound, whether it's like the lighting technician or all that stuff. So in terms of AI use for that stuff, I think it's very useful because it cuts like a lot of different minute action details that you got to remember, and it kind of just cuts down. You get to focus on the bigger picture, right? The more important things. I feel like AI right now, it feels a little backwards because why are we using AI to make art? We should be making art and making AI do everyday mundane tasks, cleaning, cooking, laundry, stuff we don't want to waste time on.
The tedious practical
things like that. And then we have more time to take our art seriously, right? We have more time to write, more time to record, more time to just come up with things. And it
almost feels like it's backwards.
It is. Yeah, it feels like it's backwards. Like we should be having AI do all these little tasks that take up our time on a daily so that humans can be the ones creating, you know? But yeah, it's just very interesting to see where the landscape is going to like evolve to.
Yeah, especially as creatives too, like this is just getting more deeper and deeper with how we're involved with it all.
Yeah.
Just really appreciate the conversation, Marv. Again, just another episode here and a really interesting topic, a lot to really think about. Marv, anything you want to close off with in terms of the pod? Just any last thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, I had a great convo. I think we talked about a lot of key points that, revolve around today's
ever-growing dynamic, everything going on.
Yeah.
And there's more to come too with it. So appreciate the time. It's Endo over here with Marv, both over at Roseland. We'll be here in the next episode. And thanks so much for tuning on in. We'll catch you. Peace out.
Later.
Later.